It is an old liberal saying, never judge a book by its cover or your ass is racist.
I was student of the year for Bogalusa City Schools.
And I just paroled from the penitentiary.
I graduated at the top of my high school class with over $700,000 in scholarships.
Well, when I got out of prison, they gave my ass $200 and a free ticket to get the hell out of the city.
As a college student, I was fortunate enough to work for Congressman Lacy Clay in the United States House of Representatives.
Well, my first job was working for my grandmother at a crack house on Crenshaw.
I graduated from Washington University, where I served as student body president, managing an almost $4 million budget.
Damn, nigga, how many times you gotta graduate?
When I moved back, I became a school teacher at Central Elementary and started an organization called Better Bogalusa, focused on investing in our city's youth.
Nigga, who is you? Martin Luther King Jr.?
I currently serve as state policy director for one of the largest civil rights organizations in the country. I'm Tyrin Truong, and I approve this message.
Truong? What type of name is that for a nigga?
His victory made headlines when he became mayor of Bogalusa at just 23 years old.
That nigga can barely get into a strip club, but now his ass is the mayor of Buskaluska, or Bubaluga, or whatever the hell it is. Next! I want the voters of Bubaluska to know exactly who they voting for. A real nigga.
Breaking news.
Good afternoon. I'm Liz Reyes. Thanks for joining us. Breaking at this hour, the mayor of Bogalusa, the youngest in the city's history, gets arrested and now faces some serious charges.
And not on no Puff Daddy shit with no baby oil or no shit like that.
At noon, the Washington Parish Sheriff's Office releasing the mugshot of Tyrin Truong.
Well, nigga, if you innocent, put it on his shirt and sell it like Donald Trump.
His supporters believe he's being framed because of racial bias.
That will surely get niggas to come out and protest an indictment. Scream racism.
Been after him for a while. We unfortunately, and it's so sad and it's so embarrassing for our city because racism, hatred, bigotry is still alive.
Max, but your face is halfway dead.
And when it surfaces to this extent, it's so sad.
Not sadder than that face. Next! And that 20-year-old thug won by a landslide.
Across the area, we have the mayor's race in Bogalusa. The incumbent has been ousted tonight. The winning candidate is Tyrin Truong. It appears with 56% of the vote. So there'll be new leadership in Bogalusa.
With 17,000 votes.
A 23-year-old, you heard that right, will become the next mayor of Bogalusa.
And is a prime example of a DEI hire. You can't get more DEI than that nigga.
Tyrin Truong started his campaign because he just didn't like what he was seeing in the city.
So he decided to fuck it up more. Next! But what is racism without a little racism?
Developing out of Bogalusa, police arrest the man they say made threats toward the new mayor. We first told you about this story last week when Mayor Tyrin Truong announced he'd received threats on social media.
Because he was black, of course, not because the nigga was a criminal.
The Washington Parish NAACP called those threats racially motivated. 51-year-old Jason Gavin was arrested late yesterday and booked with cyberstalking.
Well, how in the hell was that racially motivated? But the nigga could just be crazy. Next! Plus, his ass getting threatened by black people too. So what's racially motivated by that?
The Bogalusa mayor says he's pressing charges against a city councilwoman who he says threatened him while walking out of Tuesday's city council meeting.
That sweet old lady wouldn't do no shit like that.
Things got heated at Tuesday night's Bogalusa City Council meeting when agenda item number 8 came up, discussing a city spending freeze.
Did he just call her a bitch? Well, if he didn't call her a bitch, it sounded close enough to me.
We were going back and forth about why we shouldn't implement the freeze, and a council person got up and stated, you know, I don't have time for this. So they walked out, and on their way out the door turned around and said, I got a double-loaded shotgun.
Next! Well, where in the hell the witnesses at?
That alleged threat made by Councilwoman Penny Douglas, catching everyone in attendance off guard.
Oh, so you do have a witness.
Yeah, that was wrong. Council lady at large talking about a double-barrel shotgun, making threats towards the mayor. I think that she need to be removed from office.
Well, I agree. Her ass is racist. Next! Well, if you're going to talk about guns, let's talk about the guns inside of this nigga family.
3 people arrested in connection to a deadly shooting that happened during a high school basketball game last week is the half-brother of Mayor Tyrin Truong.
And how in the hell they was used.
Caleb Moss was arrested for obstruction of justice and as an accessory to first-degree murder and attempted first-degree murder. Jamichael Spikes and a 16-year-old were also arrested. A 14-year-old was killed and a 12-year-old was injured during that shooting.
I wonder, did he get that gun from the mayor of the city? I mean, the mayor got everything else.
They allege that Tyrin Truong and as many as 10 others are involved in a scheme to use social media to distribute controlled dangerous substances like opioids, high-grade marijuana, and ecstasy.
And don't forget about the hoes. What drug kingpin can be complete without hoes?
The allegations also include charges related to the use of public funds to procure a hotel room involving a prostitute.
Only one prostitute? What kind of hoe house is this nigga running? Or was the nigga working on more hoes? Next! One hoe is not enough to run a hoe house. You gotta have more.
I think it's a tragedy. You know, people had a lot of hopes in him as a young up-and-comer who might be able to provide leadership.
Yeah, for a damn gang.
We're coming to you live from the Bogalusa City Hall, where state police just arrived about 15 minutes ago. About a half dozen troopers went into the City Hall annex, and they are executing search warrants around Bogalusa in this wide-ranging scheme.
This racist scheme, of course.
I say it now and I'll say it forever. You know, he's not guilty of any of these charges.
This mayor is trying to straighten things out and make things better. The crooks don't want him to take over. They want to keep doing what they're doing. They don't like him because he's doing what's right.
Well, if that includes flooding the block with Snow White and that one hoe, he's doing a damn good job.
The good old boys here in Bogalusa, they didn't like that. They didn't like him exposing them. So this here is retaliation.
Nigga, who is you? The donkey off of Shrek? Next! Nigga, it's not retaliation. It's an investigation.
Bogalusa's mayor is out of jail tonight after an early morning arrest. This video is from just a few moments ago as Bogalusa Mayor Tyrin Truong was released from jail. He was arrested this morning on multiple charges after what officials call a months-long drug trafficking investigation.
And don't forget about the one hoe. Don't leave her out. Next! That nigga going to jail.
I don't want that to happen to our mayor. You guys are going to say it's racketeering and going to just pick up all these people for no reason, and that's wrong.
Not if pimping hoes and selling dope is not. Next!
My job as DA is to prosecute based upon evidence alone. I don't care who it is.
Even if his ass is black.
Now, after the mayor's release, Truong said in part, when you're cutting contracts, shutting down favors, and exerting influence, shaking up things and exposing truths, you become a target.
Also, when your ass is selling dope on the internet.
I know many of you are upset about a particular arrest. I am not here to comment about any one individual or anything else, or the evidence or anything else regarding anyone in particular. But it's one of 20.
And that nigga was one of 20.
He went on to say he prays that God reveals every person that had a hand in this, and there are many.
God ain't got nothing to do with racism, dope, or that one hoe.
DA Sims says the arrest was the result of a long-time drug investigation that just so happened to incriminate Truong.
But the evidence that was collected, the evidence that was reviewed, led to that incidentally.
So that is racist.
Keith Merrill says Mayor Truong is being singled out.
They didn't like him exposing them. So this here is retaliation. I said.
No, donkey from Shrek, is called probation, not retaliation, because that nigga is going to jail. Next! Liberals say anything criminal or somebody doing a fucked up job as a Democrat and they black, that is racist. Like that bitch Karen Bass.
I'll tell you something, she's got a spine of steel. Yes. And she's also been a black woman in America a very long time, so none of this is new to her.
But being intelligent is something foreign to her.
We're mad because we're tired of it. We're tired for her. We're mad for her, and we're going to stand. Listen, I don't know how you here, but I'm happy you're here. Because somebody needs to
stand, behind her and support her.
For what? Democrats doing a fucked up job?
Because how she handling it, you can see it in her face. She stays calm.
Yeah, if you say staying calm by looking stupid, You're right.
Do you owe citizens an apology for being absent while their homes were burning? Do you regret cutting the fire department budget by millions of dollars, Madam Mayor?
But think about this. She has the city to take care of. She does not have time to hear from these reporters asking these questions.
She is also not mayor of every municipality in California.
Yes.
Yeah, but as the mayor of Los Angeles, you are the executive branch of Los Angeles. Bitch, you are like the president of Los Angeles. And this ugly bitch, Maxine Waters, say, don't worry about criticizing politicians. Maxine Waters wants you to do the politician's job. Ain't that a bitch?
Instead of this business about Democrats or Republicans, get the information up on the screens. Where can you go in Altadena? Where can you go in Pasadena? Where can you go in Malibu? Where can you go in the Palisades? Where can you go in San Fernando Valley?
Well, Tom, I want to know where in the hell do this bitch to go and get a facelift? I got $50 on your donation for that.
They don't know. They're looking for help.
That bitch should be looking for help.
And that's what we should be dedicated to.
And the plastic surgeon is something your ugly ass should be dedicated to. Next!
There are people that are mad that she didn't fix the fires in Malibu. She's not the mayor of Malibu.
You're right.
What is she supposed to do in a city she's not the mayor of?
Well, why in the hell is she acting like it?
People don't understand.
And let me say this too. I could imagine how much it would hurt to see this happening in the city that she loves. That's first. So take away how it feels for people to attack her. She's heartbroken because this is happening in her city, a city that she loves.
Well, why in the hell she don't act like it? And speaking of love, some people got a face that only a monkey can love.
I agree.
And you too.
We are doing it. We will continue to do it. I think you are right. However, it can also be seen that you don't want to talk about the politics because it's on your party, because the mayor and the governor are Democrats who arguably should have had the people in Altadena better prepared for this.
And the people don't understand. They don't understand how large it is because a lot of people are sitting in other parts of the city. They're not in it. They're not in the fire. They're not in the smoke. They don't see. They're not there. They're watching TV.
And watching Maxine Waters' face.
They should have the resources more available so they don't need me to put them up because the state has been doing the work.
Resources like donations from Miss Chocolate and Cocoa.
Why? And they want to blame someone. This is not the time to blame. It's time to get some resources.
They help reconstruct Maxine Waters' face. Next!
And that if they've been preparing the situations for wildfires like they were made aware of, instead of cutting deals with PG&E and insurance companies, they would have prepared the state.
She has reached out far. We have planes coming in from other countries to help us.
Well, who in the hell gonna help Maxine Waters' face? Along with my baby mama face, Miss Black Barbie. Both of them need to be reconstructed.
That is not unfair criticism. Is it too soon? Maybe, but the questions are real.
This is not the time. I need everybody to remain calm, be vigilant, support the leadership, support Karen Bass. That's all I can say. You cannot, this is not the time.
So
Ooh, y'all done got me
she's
upset.
had a great response so far to the fires.
Absolutely.
Have you nothing to say today? Have you absolutely nothing to say to the citizens today?
Great. She has done what she's had to do.
What? Look retarded?
Elon Musk says that you're utterly incompetent. Are you considering your position? Madam Mayor, have you absolutely nothing to say to the citizens today who are dealing with this disaster?
Hell no.
She's jumped in there and she's
And
got
let me say this, we have fires every year. And I don't remember in the 30 years almost that I've lived in LA, I've never seen everybody react like this to the mayor and blame one person for a natural disaster.
Yes.
I've never seen it.
Well, that bitch had a 30-year warning. And speaking of a warning, Miss Sarah Ford, viewer discretion is advised for the next person's face.
Let me tell you something. I'm not in the business of protecting anybody. And I think that my work over the years that I've been involved have been absolutely on point in dealing what has to be dealt with in order to help the people.
Well, somebody should help that face. Like Miss Beth Roberts helped my Cash App.
First thing you got to understand is services cost money. And we should be willing to get the richest people in this country, the richest 1% that is protected, make sure they pay their fair taxes so that we can have the money to provide the services.
Well, didn't they pay enough of their fair share to prevent the shit from happening in the first place?
Now, what's different this time?
Somebody stupid is in charge and somebody ugly is about to speak.
With that money and with those resources, the people who have been selected or elected to do the job should do the job.
Well, if the Democrats was doing their damn job, the shit wouldn't have happened. Next! But of course, we're going to blame it on racism.
Interesting, isn't it?
You said that. Amen, sister.
I don't care who it is. It could be Democrat, it could be Republican, it could be whatever. But the fact of the matter is, we all should have heavy hearts right now.
And a heavy stomach from watching your damn face for so long.